One. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you? How are you, Doug? How you doing? What's going on tonight?
Oh, well, man, I'm just finally kind of on the tail end of a cold, so I might have some coughing going on. Prime example. But otherwise, man, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to jump in. What do you have today? Let's see what you got. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this one I saw and I really had to pick it up. This is Rogue's Rhubarb Schmoobarb Ale. So it's a strawberry rhubarb ale. The reason I wanted to pick it up is I am a huge fan of strawberry rhubarb pie. So like this just like I was like, all right, I got to give that a go. I'm expecting to be tremendously tart because rhubarb is very tart, but strawberry hopefully will balance it out because it's very sweet.
Oh, who doesn't love strawberry rhubarb? Come on now.
Oh, man. So it doesn't smell tart. It smells very much strawberry, but not like overly so. So also the glassware I'm using tonight is this one is from Omegang's parent company, Duvel. They make some really cool little glassware with some really interesting artwork. Some naked folks, some centaurs. So pretty good. All right, so let's pour this in here and we'll see how this looks.
All
right.
Little red there.
That's a really nice color though. Yeah, it definitely doesn't smell any sort of bitter notes to it at all. It just smells a good hint of strawberry, but not overly so. So here we go. Oh man, that is
Sweet,
really perfectly balanced beer thing. That is the strawberry and rhubarb are like it's not as sweet as like strawberry rhubarb pie because strawberry rhubarb pie has sugar and all that stuff in it, but it's the strawberry and rhubarb are really, really well balanced. And the ale is there. It's not, and for me, ales are never something that are like have like really pronounced flavors. So this is just really delicious.
Oh, you were expecting some tart? Did you get any?
On the tail end, a little bit tartness on the tail end, but not like pucker your mouth tart. It's definitely not a sour. It's just that rhubarb kind of gives a little tang there at the end that, you know, a little tiny little bite.
What's the container?
Strawberry is more up front.
Can I see the container? What is it? A big can, tall can? What do we got?
This is I don't know, my glasses on. So,
it's like a regular can.
So it's looks like, pardon me, again with the coughing. So this is 1 pint, so 16 ounces. What's pretty interesting about this too is they have like on the can, they have what to pair it with, and they say pepper jack, seared ahi tuna, and of course strawberry rhubarb pie.
So would you put that in the dessert area, or would you put it in a summer area? Let's have some in the summer, or when are we drinking that? Besides,
I would definitely say more of a summer beer, like when it's warm, be really refreshing. It's not a dessert beer.
Oh, okay.
Like the strawberry is there, but it's not sweet. The strawberries are just balances out that rhubarb really nice, so it's not really bitter.
All right.
So that's a very pleasant surprise. I was expecting that to be really, really tart.
It sounds like a fun one. Rogue is distributed everywhere, so that's one. Where'd you pick that up? When did you pick that up? Recently?
I picked that up last weekend. I was in the middle of like just starting to fight this cold. So I went to Wegmans because they have a pretty decent beer selection there. And I just saw that and thought, oh, that's really cool. I like strawberry rhubarb. I'm going to pick that up. And again, it was, Rogue is fairly hit or miss with me. Dead Guy Ale was like my first foray into craft beer. So, they kind of have a little bit of a space in my heart because of that. But but generally speaking, they're like most of their stuff for me is really too hoppy, but this is really good. I'm really pleasantly surprised with this. What about you? What do you have going? What's your first?
Yeah, real quick on Rogue though. Rogue is in my opinion, they're a boundary pusher, meaning they like to push boundaries on all kinds of things. They like to do crazy things. They like to do things offbeat. If I think Rogue was doing that before it was cool. Like that's like a motto now. Let's just be offbeat and let's do crazy things. You know what I mean? Where Rogue is doing it, they're old school in that, in my opinion. Again, they've been around doing it for a while, and I couldn't agree more about hit or miss for me. For me personally, I couldn't agree more. But obviously, they sell enough beer nationwide that they're more hit than miss. So, cheers to them, and hope and good on them for again being a boundary pusher and all that. So, cheers to Rogue for sure. So I'm drinking a wonderful local beer called Outer Spaced. First of all, this is from a brewery called Karben 4 here, and if you live in Madison, you know Karben 4. If you live outside of Madison, you don't know Karben 4. Karben 4 is one of the they're one of the mainstays around here. They're one of the big ones, cool big ones, but they only have a brew pub, and they pretty much serve out of there. Outer Space is a New England style Imperial IPA. So
Imperial.
It's a big one. Yeah. So the deal with this one is this is a fruity loveness. I'm not the Imperial part. I'm not getting it from the hops at all in this one. But if the hops are protruding passion fruit and peach, that's what I'm getting out of this. It's fruity. It's for the people who like big, fruity, somewhat hoppy beers.
Yeah. What's the ABV on that particular one? If considering it's Imperial.
9.2.
Wow.
Drinks more like a 5.2 or a 6.2. You can tell, there's some mouthfeel here, and you can definitely tell that there's a bunch of hops in here. But from that, the drinkability aspect of it, this reminds me of something I would have in the spring.
Yeah.
I listen, again, disclaimer, I'll drink any kind of beer all the time, anytime. So I don't care about that. But a lot of people do. And this is one. They just came out with it today. This is a small batch, I believe. I don't think they're going to be making a lot of this. Karben 4 does a lot of one-offs. I actually, one-off is not the thing. They do them, but then they come back with them a year later. So so this one won't be around probably for a year. But it is fantastic. And also, I have a thing for space steam beers. Like if it's a space steam beer, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You know how some people do the labels?
I'm all about labels too.
Okay, right. Well, I'm about the name. So I don't even know if label or name has anything to do with what's actually in the glass. But, we all get fooled by the marketing at some point, like the marketing gets us in. To me, it's the name. So if you have a space name and a cool, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I like the little astronaut on there.
He's cool. Yeah. And Karben 4 does a really, really good job at, with their artwork. I'm going to bring one of these times I'm going to bring Fantasy Factor here. That's their IPA. Or I got it right. And it's a really good one, but the label is a big unicorn, and it's just great. So this is highly recommended. I was all over my social media screaming and hollering about it today. I already look at this. I'm already done. In my Tiku glass. You ever see a Tiku glass?
What's that? This
is called a Tiku. Am I saying it right? I hope I'm saying it right. A Tiku glass. You ever see one of these?
Yeah, I've seen them. I just didn't know I didn't know what their name was, or what they're best served for what kind of beers are the best ones.
I'm told that any beer goes in this glass. That's what I was told. This, because it's the way it's shaped and the way it has it open, it's good for any beer to aerate the beer. So I just threw it in this because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's really the only one I got. This is the only Tiku I got. And for an IPA, you can go a whole bunch of different ways, but you kind of want something that's going to open up, get all those so you can smell.
Nice.
But this is a good one, man. If I could send you this one, it is. And for the people, there's a section of people who don't like New England IPAs. I love them. I love IPAs. Sorry, I'm unabashed. I love them all generally. The brewed ones, but anyway, so this is great. Highly recommend it. The release was today at the brewery, so I was there at like 11:15. I think I was the first one ordering it. Just because again, the space theme, and then the big hoppy fruity space theme and big hoppy fruity was like, oh yeah. And I don't know what's going on in your area, but there's still 6 inches of snow. It's still cold. And here in Wisconsin, we are looking for spring. And this is like spring in a glass. So
Well, we are still, I think tomorrow is supposed to be the first day that we're back into the 40s. And it's only been like 41. Today felt like it was balmy, and I think it was 38. And we still have snow on the ground. It's still chilly. You know, I go out in the morning and there's ice on my car every morning, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, you wouldn't know it that it's not spring yet if you go to any beer distributor, because all you see is 8 gazillion IPAs out. So I'm, as much as I'm not a giant IPA fan, I will say that as I stood a little corrected on the idea of IPA, especially with New England IPA, just because when it's got that citrusy stuff, I'm all in to try those at least, and I'll try anything. But you know, IPAs I've always have a wary eye on. So,
what about this one here has passion fruit and peach? What about those fruits for you?
Well, I'd be a little worried about the peach, because peach is a really strong flavor. Is it how pronounced is it in there?
More passion fruit I'm getting than peach, but it's one of those things, Doug, where if you're sensitive to peach, you might be like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm sensitive to peach or not. I'm getting a little bit, but I taste way more and I smell more passion fruit. So the label says with passion fruit and peach. So I'm not sure if, you know, they're labeling it, you know, passion fruit and then peach.
Yeah.
Passion fruit peach, or
capital P for passion fruit, lower P for peach.
Right. And I love to say this too. Breweries F with your head. So like by saying passion fruit and peach, you have me looking for it. So if you didn't say passion fruit or peach, you just said tropical, I would be like,
trying to figure out what it is.
Mango, right? I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I couldn't put that on there, but once they told me what it was, then I, you know, dive in, look for it, and then you're like, oh, that's passion fruit. So sometimes, again, that's really good. And I don't know what kind of hops they imparted. I'm pretty sure they didn't put any, you know, like straight passion fruit extract or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? I'm sure they hopped it out in a manner that the passion fruit and the peach came out.
Yeah, which is weird is like, I don't think that passion fruit has a lot of like outgoing flavor to me, but so I find it interesting that you see the passion fruit's more present than the peach, because they must have used a really small amount of peach, because peach can just dominate stuff with how heavy-handed it is with its flavors. So it's
like coconut.
Kudos to them for being able to make it not like punching you in the face.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I like to get some other people's tasty notes on it too, because it wouldn't surprise me if people were like, look, I'm getting peach. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. But I'm personally not. Again, I taste some peach, but it's not too much for me. And again, if you don't, you know how it is. It's one of those things. If you don't like something, it's gonna be like, you know what I mean. It's gonna like be like,
yeah, yeah. Like if you don't like, for instance, I'm not a big fan of coconut, but if something says coconut in it, I'm gonna, for some reason, my brain's gonna go looking for that instead of being like, let's just take it in as it is and see what it is. But,
correct.
Yeah, I'm.
Right. So, and I don't know, coconut's one of those too that like it can be very overpowering. It's not an overpowering, in my opinion, it's not a strong flavor, but like it's overpowering, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. And the thing that for me that makes it even weirder is the idea that like coconut flavor itself isn't all that bad, except I have a real problem with the texture of coconut itself. So that almost like taints it for me, which is dumb because like the flavor itself isn't bad, but like I'm just like,
nah, that ain't it. As my son would say, that's not it. So look at this. I'm already on my second one because I knew I was gonna have to have two handy because this was so juicy. Yeah. This is so juicy. It's really up my. It's just great. And I don't know. They had the 6-packs right. You know, the release was today, and then they had the 6-packs right there, ready to go, cold. It was like, boom, thank you. I was thinking about a growler, but I'd rather have a 6-pack because then, you know, I mean, I can give some away, and they'll keep a little bit longer. But I don't know. This says this was bottled This says 3.6 on it. So this was bottled yesterday?
Yeah.
Right. Well, so I need to get rid of this and drink this by the next time I talk to you, man. Because otherwise,
so you need to kind of drink them fresh.
Right. But not as fresh as a growler. You know what I mean? Because if I open that
Yeah, so
growler,
you open it and you're like, well, I'm committed now. I got to drink the whole thing.
right?
Darn.
I described it at the pub when people came to the pub and get growlers. I described it as you're lighting a match on a dynamite stick, and like once you open that growler, it's lit. So it's just gonna go.
Yep, until you just
need to drink
either
it before it blows up. What'd you say?
Yeah, you either got to drink the whole thing, or you're just going to drink as much as you can until you're like, well, I can't drink anymore, and then it's skunked. That's
right.
Which is
And
cool with the crowler. With the crowler idea is making it in a can. At least then it will keep. Whereas with a growler, you got to drink that in a day or two. Otherwise, it's not gonna be any good.
Yep. That and a crowler is a smaller amount of beer. And again, unless it's really like this, and even this, the 2 beers is going to be enough for me. And I already had it earlier.
9.2, I would think so.
Well, yeah, right. But even just for the palate, I want something different at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's a great beer, but at some point I got to move off of it. So then that's why, again, the 6-packs are great. I love them. I don't know. I like to see more cans, but again, if we got these, I'm cool. So,
well, this one here it's only 5.9, so that's very drinkable. And like I said, I could drink it anytime, but like if it's really hot out, man, you can
you have a couple
really fast, easy. Yeah, it's not something where you're like, oh man, that's cool, but that's enough. No, it's something that's definitely drinkable more than one.
Amen. So, when you're done with that one, you got a secret one or something, right?
I do. Let me finish this little thing. So
no worries.
Well, you have something really special. So
I have something here. Let's talk about this a little bit. But it's a Dogfish head. Everybody knows Dogfish head. I don't want to talk about them. Everybody knows them. Come on now. So we can just skip that part. You want to talk about, but actually, let's not skip that part. You want to talk about polarizing, crazy beers. I mean, this place is just about. I mean, they're an old school one too, like Rogue, pushing boundaries, doing crazy. Part of the crazy is their distillery now, and so they started distilling. And you and I were talking about this a couple of days ago, doing our little pre-prep for the show about the different liquors that they can and can't do, at least now, because whiskey and bourbon and all that take longer. So this is the lemon peppercorn flavored vodka.
I'm really
what is that?
I'm really looking forward to seeing what this is. Our friend Jeff Tepper was like, that's either going to be great or it's going to be terrible. I don't think there's going to be any in between.
Right. And it's great because it's all live and I can't fake my facial expression. So it's just going to be great. But I haven't opened this. I got this at the last year's Beer Bloggers Conference, and I haven't opened it in a year.
Wow.
Almost like 9 months or something. I don't know. We had it, and I bought it for the lady because she likes some vodka lemonades, and I like vodka lemonades too. So I was like, ooh, little peppercorn too. I like peppercorn. So this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna jump on this. I'm gonna pour this once you get to your mystery beer. All I gotta say is your mystery beer doesn't have a label, right? Show everybody.
No, it does not. And I'm actually
those are the best. Like when they don't have a label, that means that you got it before, like somebody.
I do. This is I had stuff before with the I can't remember, what was it? Pineapple. Excuse me, pineapple coconut Northeast IPA creamsicle beer that I had from Beer Tree Brewing.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
My friend Ben, hey Ben, thank you. Said I got something for you. So I tend to bring in stuff to him that I cellar. Like, hey man, let's try this stuff. And he used to be at a different company around here called Water Street Brewing, which is a pretty decent brewery in its own right. But Beer Tree was a better fit for him. But he says, I got something for you. So they make an Imperial Stout that they call Bigfoot. And they make variants of it that are bourbon barrel aged and all different kinds. So this one here is an Imperial Coffee Stout with maple.
Oh.
So they call it Morning Timber instead of Morning Wood. So
you're right.
But he said, I kept one of these for you. So
look at that.
I'm going to be really
Look at that.
I have no idea how much the ABV is in this.
It
It's going to be an experience.
it goes to show you it's nice to have connections in breweries, period.
Yep.
So I'm going to shout, hey, Ryan Darcy's watching us. Hey, Ryan. Ryan said he needs to cobble together some fancy background. Ryan is Ryan's. I'm going to talk to Ryan next week about breweries in his area. He's going to come on and have some beers with me and tell me about what's going on in Connecticut.
That would be awesome.
So it's going to be cool. But I think that's what he's talking about. So you cracked this open and did we put it in a glass or you just took a sip?
I didn't put it in a glass yet. I'm going to tell you, the scent on this is freaking divine.
I love maple. I'm a sucker for maple.
So I don't even know how to and part of it spilled on my hand, so I had to lick it off because
because that's alcohol abuse.
Yes, you can't waste.
Right.
So it's definitely heavy Imperial Stout, but the maple scent on it, it's like diffused syrup. I don't even know how to explain it. So, or that's
No, Jeff Tepper, we did not get to the Dogfish yet. It's sitting here. I'm waiting for Doug to get through his mystery beer, which we revealed is a coffee stout with maple.
Yeah, it's an Imperial coffee stout with maple.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Oh, very much so.
Okay, so I like one of the local coffee places. They do a Jamaican iced coffee with a shot of maple. Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, that sounds delicious.
So anyway, go on. Let's hear it. What's going on?
Okay, so very smooth stout. Light coffee flavors, and then at the end, the maple comes in. None of it overwhelms, but it's interesting because up front is just the straight stout taste. Then you have a little bit of coffee infused into it. And then after that is where the maple comes in, and that is that's superb. I'm curious how much alcohol is in this because this is super drinkable.
He just said he didn't say Imperial or Russian or any of that shit, right? He just said a stout.
He said Imperial coffee stout.
Oh, Imperial. Oh,
so we're in the 10 range. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Right.
And their Bigfoot series is I think their lowest variant is like 9.5. So it's definitely probably above that. So he said, now Ben tries all their beers and he's like, this is my favorite one. And he drinks all their stuff. So he gets to try it all before it even comes out. So
are you getting warming? And do you get an alcohol flavor? I mean,
there is. And what's interesting is you have the Imperial Stout taste at the beginning, but that's just the stout taste. The alcohol taste is actually in with the maple part at the end. So that's where that comes in. God, this.
Yeah. So Jeff says the maple. So Jeff says the maple and the coffee work together.
Very much so. They're like I said, how it goes is you get the stout taste, then a little bit of coffee flavor, and then the maple. And the maple is heavier handed than the coffee is, but not it's not overwhelming at all. It's actually the maple is more overwhelming in the nose than it is in the flavor.
Yeah. But that's all a big setup.
Oh, man, that's so good.
Oh man,
I got to see if I can finagle one of these and get them to you because this is really delicious.
Yeah, and again, when you showed me earlier in the day that it didn't have a label, I was like, that has to be good because again, that's right off the candy line. Someone just grabbed that shit, right? Yeah, and it's so awesome.
and it's just something where I bring some weird stuff to him that I've had. I brought him a Sinsanity, which is from Weyerbacher. A couple weeks ago, and that's when he gave me that beer. And that thing was a cinnamon bomb that had been sitting in my cellar for 1.5 years. And it was good, but oh my God, it was like, here, have all the cinnamon right in your face. And it was super boozy. I mean, it's a boozy beer to begin with because I think it's 14%. Yeah. And it was in my cellar for 1.5 years. So yeah, it was
it was good. I mean, the cinnamon fell out, or was it still a bomb?
It was a bomb. but yeah, it was something where I was like, I almost coughed at first because like, ooh, that's really a bunch of cinnamon.
That'll put hair in your chest.
Yo, well, I don't need any more of that, but yes.
You need it up here. Sorry.
Oh, I do. More back here, but wherever.
I'm getting there.
I'm compensating with the beard. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's great.
Although I still have a way to catch up to Jeff Tepper, so.
Right.
Fabulous beard.
I don't even know Jeff's watching anymore. He better be, because it's time for this.
Yeah, let's hear it, man. I'm really super curious.
Yeah, so we're back to, so it says, inspired by the classic culinary seasoning, we combine wood-grilled lemons and peppercorns from our restaurants. Oh, the restaurants too are amazing. If you ever, we ate there. They set us up with a lunch and all this. It was fantastic. I mean, everything these people do is great. Like, you're not going to be able to find, you're not going to be able to find a beer you don't like there. You're probably going to find a bunch of beers you don't. But that's the way their business model is. That's how they roll. Again, it's the same for me. It's the same thing with Rogue. Like, Rogue goes out there to make some crazy beers, and some people are going to like them, some people are going to love them. So Dogfish is just like this. So I expect this to be just like their beers. Meaning,
I would think so.
I'm going to love it or I'm going to hate it. So here we go. This has a lemon. I don't know if you could see it. It has like a lemony hue to it. It has like a yellow hue.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Now, is that the bottle or the liquor?
No, that's the liquor, because the bottle's clear, if you can see there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the liquor.
Really heavily infused it with lemon then. So
yeah, I'm very encouraged by that, because again, I'm not a huge shot person. Everybody's about to see it live. Oh, okay, so lemon. A lot of lemon. A lot of lemon. Some vodka, but a lot of lemon. No peppercorns.
Really? I don't know that peppercorn would have much of a scent, but
this is true. So we'll pour
a little for your homie.
That looks kind of healthy. Whoa, that looks way healthy. I'm not seeing, once it's out of here, it looks clear here, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty clear to me
compared to there.
Yeah.
So we're going to put this bad boy aside here. And we're going to sip this one, and a lot of lemon. Pretty good. Lemon, peppercorn, yes. Lemon, it's really good. This will be great in a lemon, a vodka lemonade. Yum. And the pepper is coming now. Wow, it comes later.
Oh, so it's like way back on the back end?
Spicy, yeah, but not overly spicy, but enough to be like, hey, I'm here.
Don't forget me, I'm over here.
Right. This is very good. Very good. Now, better than I thought. Smooth. Smooth for vodka. It's not, it's vodka. It's not.
Yeah. Now, would you prefer to drink that straight, or would you prefer it in the vodka lemonade? What do you think?
Good. This is a sipper.
Yeah. But would you prefer it in the straight shot, or would you prefer it like in a mixed drink?
They'll both be really good. Again, I could sip this. I could really sip this. I'm not even a sipper, man. And this is good. This is really good. Good times. This is really good. Yeah. And in fact, I'll pour me another one.
That's a good idea, man. So
this is a sipper. I can see you. What will be good with this is you can tell me about these too. What those whiskey? What are those whiskey rocks they call them?
Oh, the whiskey stones.
Right. Where it's not going to water it down. I don't want it watered down. I don't know if it'll get watered, but I want it cold.
Yeah. What if you could take vodka and stuff like that and stick it in your freezer too, and it won't freeze?
Yeah, I chilled this a little bit because I don't know. For me, I need chilled spirits.
Oh, I'm with you. Unless it's I will. If it's whiskey or bourbon, no. But that's for me. Lots of people like it chilled. Lots of people like it on ice. Like, but for me, like if it's vodka or gin, I want it chilled. So I'm with you.
Jeff says, is it possible the yellow label is causing the coloration? I don't know if he's trolling us or not on that one.
Jeff, you bastard.
Right, he's trolling us. No. But no, the yellow, again, I'm hoping that the yellow's from the lemons. I mean, that's, obviously what it is. I don't know. This is good. I would highly recommend it. I don't know if anybody else, like I said, we were there. I was there with the Beer Bloggers conference, and a whole bunch of us right downstairs. We went to the distillery, and then they have a restaurant there, and all of us went downstairs and like crowded so I know a bunch of my buddies got some of this liquor, but I haven't heard any feedback on any of it. And like I said, it took me 9 months. We were there. Oh no, it was August. So yeah, it was, it's only been 6 or 8 months. How about that? But
you're also not one to drink just straight liquor mostly, I believe.
No, I'm a beer. You know me, I'm a beer guy. I haven't. Wow, the last time I had alcohol without the lady, because the lady is a cocktail drinker, and she likes bourbon and tequila.
Yeah.
Without her, I can't remember the last time I had alcohol. She makes me do the hard alcohol, and I make her do the beer.
She makes you.
Oh yeah. She makes
you twist your arm really hard.
For a different reason, actually. She makes but she ain't watching this, so it's cool. She don't watch my shows, so I can get away with bad mouth.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to make the point that Dogfish Head does spirits. So does Rogue. Rogue makes whiskey and gin. I'm not sure if they make a bourbon. I thought they were working on something like that, but as we discussed before, bourbon takes some time. Mm-hmm. But I know they make spirits as well. So I think I had their vodka once, but I mean it was when I was a much younger buck. So yeah, I don't remember what it tasted like. I probably like, great, let's drink lots of it. And I'm like, damn it.
Right. When we were younger, we were just, whatever.
Yeah, hey, what can I do to get fucked up? That's
the quickest way possible.
Yeah.
Correct.
I will say this though, as much as I like the Rogue beer, and I really did, this was just exceptional. So
yeah, no, and the distilling thing, man, I'm feeling craft distilling like I'm feeling craft beer. I'm feeling it because I get where everybody's coming from, and I just, no disrespect to the big guys, but I just rather give my money to Dogfish Head or someone local who's doing it, and it just seems like the distilleries. I think we talked about this a little last week. The distilleries are just popping up everywhere, the craft distilleries, and there's just, in my opinion, there's just no reason for me to give my money to any place big when you got little guys doing wonderful booze like this. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and I will tell you where in upstate New York, where I live about an hour from the Finger Lakes. And the Finger Lakes are well known for wine. But I'm going to tell you, they have boatloads of distilleries there now.
Wow.
Gin and whiskey, gin and vodka are their biggest ones. They just, pardon me. This is
right.
So,
man, coming out of the winter, man, I'm with you.
Man, I feel fine, except this dumb cough won't leave me, and that's just really bothering me. But like, there's some of them that will make a bourbon, but like a very fast bourbon. So they'll call it like a baby bourbon. So like, there's one that's in Tullatown Spirits, which is in the Hudson Valley. That's not near the Finger Lakes, but they make a baby bourbon that is really good. Now they're like bottles that are like 375 milliliters, which is not 750 milliliters, which is like a regular bottle. $35 because it's a small craft place. So it's really excellent. And as I've said before, bourbon is not my jam, but I really like that one.
Yeah, and I think I think the real boom though, think about it, with craft distillery is going to be like in what 4 or 5 more years when they can all start busting out the real bourbon and busting out the real whiskey and busting out the stuff that they got to really distill because you're starting now. You know what I mean? I don't know. Another angle on this one too is we have a local sour guy, and he is Levi Funk. Shout out if he's not watching, but he's good shit if he ever sees it. Levi Funk. He has a real. He wants to do real lambics, like real sours, not ales that are soured out, real sours. Problem is, it takes 7 or 8 or 10 or 15, 20,000 years to do these things. Mm. So he literally has beer already that has been sitting already for 4 or 5 years that we're not going to be able to talk about for 3 more years. And then in between there, he's doing Untitled Art, which is another off thing. So he's still doing the sours. He's doing quick, fast sours. Like you're talking about fast bourbon, and doing that until his real sours come out. And when his real sours come out, it's just going to be
boom. I'm not a sour fan, so.
Oh, well, sour head here, but it's just more about the process that some of these, whether it be beer or whether it be distilled, the whole process sometimes takes years and people don't understand that.
Sure.
And then they want to bitch about why is this sour $8 a sour? Well, it took 8,000 years to make.
Yeah. If it's going to be sitting for 8 years, then you're going to pay money for it. And it's why I like Scotch, but Scotch is not cheap. The bottles are, if you get a cheap Scotch, it's $40. Mm-hmm. And then, you can get cheaper than that, but that stuff is, for me, swill. But for other people, they might dig it. And, I'm not shitting on people for that, but for me, if I'm going to drink something that I'm going to have to spend money on a bottle, I'm going to get something that I really enjoy. There's some of it that is, the really elite stuff that's 15 years or older. That stuff you're getting into $150, $200 a bottle. That's too much for my blood. I'm not wealthy. So I'm going to just kind of go, well, that's really great. But
right. Well, you have 4,000 kids, so you can't afford that shit.
Yeah, well, I don't have 4,000. I have 4. So
I was close.
Take 3 zeros off of that. We're pretty close.
I was close. Damn it. No, you know what I'm saying though. Hey man, I got 3 boys, so 2 of them live here, 1 of them lives somewhere else. I feel you. but at the same time, I feel you on the way. I feel you on the way of spending more money. It doesn't have to be, $200 a bottle, but spending more money so I'm enjoying it. And then it lasts longer. That $80 bottle of tequila that my lady buys, it'll last us a month because we only have a couple, or, actually more than a month, but we only have a couple here and there. And then it's just I want to have some of that tequila. And when you want to have something really good, it's sitting there.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I have a bottle of Scotch in my basement that I have yet to open. And it was one that I found, and it was in a clearance rack, and it was for $50. And when I saw it, this year's version of it, it was $196. I had gotten it for $50, and I was like, it was by a company called Balvenie, which I really like. Wow. They make a double wood Scotch that is almost sweet. So I generally like the peaty or smokier ones, but this one is really good. It's really smooth. But this one's called Peat Week, and they make a small batch of it every year. And this one was just ones they had left over, and it was for $50. And I'm like, all right, well, I buy bottles of Scotch for $50 all the time, so I'm gonna take that. And I got it, and I showed it to Jill, and I said, that's going to be a special occasion whiskey. Now, we've had some special occasions. I just keep well, maybe we'll just do it whenever. When, our oldest graduates high school, I think we'll probably open it then. But
how many if take me there. So if I go to Scotchville Yours' cellar, what do I see? How many bottles? What's going
on? Well, my cellar's full of junk. So first off, you have to
all right. So
things.
Okay, so your shit's like mine. Okay, I got it.
I think I'm fairly. Although we did reorganize it so where my stuff that I sell is clear. We made a lounge for the kids so they can go downstairs and play Xbox and watch whatever the hell they want. Mostly they still take the TV that I want to watch and I just watch it elsewhere. But anyway, there's also a workout facility. But where I have my bottles, I have one bottle of scotch. I have, I want to say 4 or 5 Game of Thrones beers that have been sold.
Omegang, right?
Omegang. And I
Omegang,
have,
I'm sorry. Yep.
I think I have 5 of them. And the youngest one of those is a year old. And I'm saving them for when Game of Thrones starts this year. So I have.
I'm going to double back on that Game of Thrones and keep going, though.
Yeah. And then I have. And generally what I'll do is I'll buy a six or a 4-pack of something that I like. And I'll go, I'll take one of those and I'll take some masking tape and write the month and the year on. And I just toss it up there. So probably right now, I probably have between 25 and 30 beers up there, maybe. So I have some that are not even close. Like I generally wait till at least a year before I open them up.
Gotcha.
But like some of those, I think 3 of the Game of Thrones beers I have up there have been up there for 2 years. So, so they're not all dark beers, so I might open them up and they might just be total shit. I don't know.
If they're not dark. So okay. So for the audience, for complete disclosure, I've never seen one show of Game of Thrones. I know nothing about it. I know that people who watch it love it. I know it's one of the best shows that people say in the world. I got it. I just don't know anything about it. So I don't know anything about the beer either because I'm not anywhere near Omegang. I see some of their stuff. I don't think they distribute here. Oh, nice glass.
There's Game of Thrones on it.
So yeah. So Omegang.
Omegang on the other side.
So Omegang does these series of beers, and I've heard about them. I've seen them. So can you explain to me a little bit, and the people who don't know about them, because again, like I said, I just see them posted in the group sometimes. Yeah. And are they all the same style, or what are they doing? What's the
No, they are not all the same style. Every single one is a different style. Okay. And by style, I mean like you might have like one was a sour, the other was an IPA, the other was an Imperial Stout, there was a red ale. Like they did a lot of different variants. Like Omegang is like they have their facility is not ginormous, so like they produce, I don't know, probably 6 different beers that are like their flagships, and then they produce small batches. Pardon me. But the Game of Thrones beers, they're just kind of all over the place, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean they were like, all right, well, and what they do is they'll take a phrase from the show that people know, and then that will be the name of the beer.
Okay. I was going to ask, is the name of the beer characters, or how do they do that?
Well, no, not characters. Usually it's a phrase that is maybe associated with a character or a place or a very particular scene. One is called like Hand of the King. Hand of the King is like the right-hand man of whatever king is serving for that particular kingdom.
Okay.
Usually in King's Landing, which is the main focus of the whole show. There's like one of the characters is the Queen of Dragons. So there's several dragon variant beers, and just like it's pretty nifty how they do it. And
smart.
I'm pretty surprised that HBO chose them.
I was going to say, so HBO's involved in this, right?
Oh yeah, it's all part of HBO's marketing, and so like HBO picked Omegang. Omegang said, "Yeah, we can do beers for that," and they make beers that are specific to what they want to do.
Wow! And then are like, does one come out and then another one comes out, or do they come out like, do they do release parties, or what? I mean, how do they handle all this? Because I'm sure there's a lot of buzz around it. Because there's a lot of buzz around that show.
Oh, tons. So like they don't like, here's 5 beers for Game of Thrones. It's not like that. They'll release one. Sometimes they'll release 2 fairly close together, but not usually. Usually it's like, here's one, and then maybe a month or two later, you have another one. And it's usually when the show is running.
It's smart.
I will say also Johnny Walker released one of their whiskeys that is an ice variant, because one of the villains is like these ice zombies. Sounds silly, I know, but they made a
It sounds silly, but I know it's awesome. I know it's awesome. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And then what I thought was a fucking genius marketing thing was they went to distilleries in Scotland and said, "You're making a Scotch, and you're making a Scotch," and they picked, I'm going to say 12 distilleries, 12 different distilleries, and said, "Give us whatever you have." And so in Game of Thrones, like each area is governed by a house. There's like House Lannister, House Stark, and all the houses have their own emblems. So each one, so all these ones had, all right, your House Stark, make this. So they made this whiskey that was like, so they had something that had been aged like 9 years. Well, it's not ready yet, but take some of this, and we don't care if it's aged 9 years. Your House Baratheon, make something like this, and then they put like the label on it. It's really clever.
Yeah.
And people like me who like Scotch, I actually got one bottle. I didn't buy it for myself. I bought it for Jill, but because we're both a Game of Thrones fans. But like, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
That's really cool. Thanks for that, man. Because again, I not watching the show and not being there, I'm a gang. Yeah. So like, I feel the buzz around it though. I feel the buzz.
I'm taking you there.
Okay, great. And also, when we talk about the breweries around your area, you're gonna have to throw that one in. I don't know how close they are, but you're gonna have to throw that one in.
Yeah.
So, man, it's been a great time. We've almost done an hour, even though we started a little bit late because we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I was, the technical difficulties was this guy, but other than that was even before we started drinking. But I want to recap the wonderful things that we had today, because I don't know, to me this has probably been, at least for me, the best show as far as tasting goes. We've had good beer. I'm not even trying to besmirch the beer. But this was a really pleasant surprise. Because again, it's been sitting around my house for 6 to 8 months. I haven't been that excited to have it at all. Not that I haven't been excited, but listen, if it's been sitting around in your house for 6 months, is it really? Come on, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, and if you've had it that long, you're like,
right. And then I was trying to bring it out. What was it like before you went to Dad 2? I was trying to bring it out.
Yeah.
The one show we did before Dad 2. And then I lost it in a beer fridge is what happened. The things you lose in your beer fridge. But anyway, though, I'm really, again, I can't say enough about this actually, and I can't wait to actually mix it with some lemonade. I think the lady's gonna really, really like it. She likes mixed drinks, so I need to work on this one.
Yeah, I think that's gonna make your wife quite happy.
It's gonna be great. And we also have, before we get to your recaps, we have this fantastic Imperial New England style IPA is what they call it, outer space. It's actually, if you could see, the logo's almost like Space Jam.
Oh, see, that's cool. I didn't see the font.
Yeah, and it's kind of blurry here too. And then I got my light, so it's kind of a mess. But you can see, you saw that I posted a picture of the art and the carton that it came in. But the art is amazing. This beer is really good. If you like New England style IPAs and you're around Madison, you need to jump on this. I know we have a lot of people in Madison that follow me because obviously I'm from Madison. So you got to really jump on this one if you're in Madison for sure. So let's recap in case people came in late. Your first one was you went with Rogue, obviously, and I'll shut up and let you finish.
Yep. So this one was the strawberry, rhubarb schmoobarb. Sorry, it was a strawberry rhubarb.
That's what it's called, rhubarb schmoobarb.
Rhubarb schmoobarb. I don't know where they.
That's a Rogue name too.
Yeah. But it's a strawberry rhubarb ale. Really good, crisp with a little bit of sweetness from the strawberry. The rhubarb isn't like in your face, which is good because rhubarb can be really bitter. But it's really drinkable. And I'm going to tell you, if it was warm out, it'd be something you could have multiples of. It's not a one-off. It's not a dessert beer. It's
The
something.
lawnmower beer?
Yeah.
Lawnmower?
Oh, very much so.
Cool.
If I had a riding mower, I'd definitely drink it while I was riding. I don't.
Cool.
And the other one is just the mystery, which it wasn't a mystery to me, but this one was called Morning Timber from Beer Tree in Port Crane, New York. This was a Imperial coffee stout with maple, and this was fucking dynamite. I really, really liked it. It's so dark, which is up my alley.
Yes.
And like I said, it's not overwhelming on any of the flavors. You got the stout first, then you get a little bit of coffee, and then the maple and the booziness, and just I have no idea how much ABV was in this, but it's got to be 10, 11, 12. But man, really.
And again, it is rare that a beer in a can with no label is bad. Period.
Yeah.
That's like a gold mine.
What's funny is he handed it to me and he was like, here, like kind of under the thanks. And he told me what it was. I'm like, oh, now I know why you handed that to me on the low. I get it.
Right. No, man. Again, like I said, I was in a recent trip to Michigan. I got handed a beer right off the line like that. And I was just like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like beer geek. Sorry, people. Beer geek orgasm. It was just beer geek love. It was just everything. So that's when I saw that earlier, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. So, yes, man. So we're going to wrap this up because we're past our time normally. Not that we have a time, but, the libations were really good this week. Next week, I'm going to be putting pressure on my boy over there to be, we're going to have to get you we're going to have to do some libations, brother. We're going to have to get you talking about scotch or something. You're going to have to pull something out of you got to do something.
Yeah, I was thinking of just doing 2 different scotches, and I have some ideas on that. I will go on the scotch angle. This
was so good, man. I almost want to do a beer and a vodka every week now that this was so good.
Whatever works.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what, Doug? Actually, most people see us after we get off. Most people jump in and comment afterwards. So you guys feel free to comment afterwards. This will be up. Thanks, Doug, man. Thanks, Doug, for joining me and having a good afternoon. Friday afternoon. We're gonna try to do Fridays, fellas, and everybody. We're gonna try to do Fridays. I don't know if we might be jumping back on Saturdays. We're gonna try. Doug and I are gonna try to get down a set schedule so everybody knows when we're doing this.
Yeah, I think we can. If Fridays seem to be really good because everybody's kind of all right. Well, we've had a week, so let's do this. But I think Fridays are good, and again. Part of the scheduling snafus were mostly due to me and my one child playing 2 different basketball schedules. So, apologies, folks. But that basketball season for him is over. So, probably be a little easier to do the Fridays.
No baseball?
No, he is not really into baseball. One of my kids, Jen, is gonna try track. So good on them, but. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to try. So
my fat ass ain't running anywhere. It's just not
running. You'll see me as running to the beer store.
I was going to say, run to the flights, right? Well, we'll see you guys next week. Same time and likely the same bad channel. Yeah. Cheers.